Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name's Georgia. I hope you're well. Welcome to another reading vlog. Now, I feel like it's been a while since we've done a scavenger hunt. I feel like it's time. So I do plan on rearranging my shelf soon, and I feel like now is the perfect time to do a scavenger hunt before I rearrange my shelf and know where nothing is. So that's exactly what we're going to do. I have made a couple of adjustments to the sort of prompts that I'll be using just to sort of mix it up a little bit, and I feel like I always end up using the same like 20 books when I do this, so I'm really hoping to sort of mix that up a little bit today. I'm going to try and use some different books just so that they're not all the same, and we will see where we end up at the end. So if you have never seen a scavenger hunt video before, I didn't come up with this. I first saw this on Ellen Catherine's channel. I think she found it on Riley Marie's. I don't know who the original creator is, but the 10 prompts that I have are the prompts that I've sort of made myself and that I've ordered myself and things. So basically how it works is there are 10 prompts. You start with prompt 1. Prompt 1 gets you a book. You then use that book and prompt 2 to get the next book. You use that prompt and prompt 3 to get the next book, and you keep going until the 10th and final prompt, and that is the book that we will read together in a vlog style format today. So grab a drink, grab a snack, and let's jump straight in. My drink of choice today is a peach Fanta. I'm mixing it up a little bit. Honestly, these peach Fantas have very quickly become like my favourite drink. They're so good. Prompt 1 then. Start with the last book you added to your TBR and then find a book with a similar cover. The most recent book to my TBR is actually Stolen by Shadows by Elizabeth Helen. This is book 6 in the Beast of the Briar series. If you haven't seen my recent haul, it is on my most recent Doing Book Stuff video, so you can go and check that out. But yeah, this is my most recent purchase, my most recent addition to the TBR. So now we need to find a book with a similar cover to this one right here. I'm thinking purple and floral is pretty much going to be my go-to for this, and I do actually have a book in mind. Let's go grab it. Similar cover. We have the purple background, the pink florals, we have like the gems. There's the random green gems on here. There's obviously the black gem at this one, but I feel like these are pretty similar covers, purple and floral. I feel like I've smashed that. Okay, so now we use this book and the next prompt to get the next book. You get the gist. So add the last page numbers together and then find a book that has that many letters in the title. So I tend to go for the last page of the actual book, none of the additional stuff like the acknowledgements or anything like that. Oh, this is going to be a long title. So the last page of this book, I have 3, 8, 9. So 9 plus 8 is 17 plus 3, 20. I need to find a book with 20 letters in the title. Let's go start counting. 20 letters in the title? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. 20 letters in the title. I have A Love Letter to Whiskey. I still haven't read this book yet. I got this for my birthday this year, so I got this in May. And it was from my lovely auntie-in-law, and I really want to get to this soon. I've heard very mixed things about it, but I'm definitely intrigued to give this one a go. Moving on to prompt number 3, lift some of the tropes in this book and then find a book with similar tropes. Now the only issue is I haven't read this yet, so okay, so it says right person, wrong time, slow burn, friends to lovers, second chance, angsty tortured romance. Okay, so I could go, have I got any other like right person, wrong time books, or just like a second chance? I could go for like a second chance. When I think of second chance romance, there is definitely one book that comes to mind in particular, so I'm going to go and grab that first. It's also sort of small town, which I'm pretty sure this is as well, and I don't know if this is sort of like country inspired small town-ish or not, but I've definitely got a other sort of like tortured souls, slow burn, second chance, so I'm going to go grab that. Trick with these videos is tidying as you go. For those who have read these books, I hope you can sort of see where my thought process is going. Obviously, I've never read A Love Letter to Whiskey, so I feel like this was a little bit of a difficult one. I've gone for One Last Rodeo by Emma Lucy. This is book 3 in the Willow Ridge series by this author. I absolutely loved this book. So this one is a second chance. It's right person, wrong time in terms of like they met when they were younger and then lost contact sort of thing. They both definitely have that sort of like tortured souls element. They bond at the beginning over sort of like shared trauma. So I feel like this one fits pretty well. I'm gonna go for this one. I'm gonna go for it. So prompt number 4 then, reverse the page count and then find a book with a similar number of pages. So again, going to the last page of this book, no additional chapters, no nothing, literally the last page of the epilogue. 369. Oh, I feel like with these ones I always end up with either like the biggest books on my TBR or like the smallest books. So it either ends in like an 8 or a 9 or a 1 or a 2 and they end up being like teeny. So 369 pages, and I need to find a book with around 963. So I'm immediately thinking chunky fantasy books. I feel like this always happens and I always go for the same books. So I feel like I only have so many books with that many pages. Okay, I've pulled out like all of my biggest books, and the closest I can get is Kingdom of Ash by Sarah J Maas. This has 977. So I'm within sort of like 20 pages, so I'm going to call that a win. Closest book I can find, we're going to go for Kingdom of Ash. I still haven't read the Throne of Glass series and I'd really like to get to it, but with the announce of ACOTAR and things, I'm a bit more reluctant to sort of like jump into Throne of Glass because I want to reread ACOTAR before the new books. I know some people are saying that you need to have read all the Throne of Glass and the Crescent City and everything. I haven't got time to be doing that right now, so I'm just going to reread ACOTAR. Anyway, prompt number 5, find a book published in the same year. Okay, so this book I'm going to guess like 2018. Am I miles off with that? First published in Great Britain in 2018. Go me. I am so proud of that. That was such a guess. That is actually so good. So I need to find another book published in 2018. Let's go hunting again. I can't even remember what I'm looking for now. Is it 2018? I've been looking for that long. I feel like this is cheating. Copyright 2017, but this was published, this actual copy of it was published in 2018. Like the paperback. I have the paperback. So the paperback edition was published in 2018. I have pulled a good like 50% of the books off my shelves trying to find this, and I'm having it. So The Lord of Shadows, which is book 2 in the Dark Artificers trilogy by Cassandra Clare, this paperback edition was published in 2018. I'm having it. I'm calling it a day. I've had enough of pulling all the books off for this prompt. So a book published in the same year as Kingdom of Ash was Lord of Shadows by Cassandra Clare. I'm having it. Let's go. Prompt number 6 then, find a book with a similar spine. We don't have much to go off of, to be honest. This is the spine we're working with. So other than other Cassandra Clare books, I don't really think I have much that looks like this. So we need something with like an illustration in the top. We've got the white and gold foiling and a bit of blue writing as well. Let's have a look. One thing I absolutely love about this prompt in particular is that I don't have to pull all of the books off my like shelves to do it because they're all spine out. So a book with similar spines then. I've got this one here by Kerry Maniscalco. They've both got the picture at the top, the writing down the middle. The actual colour of the book is very similar, so I feel like that's the closest I'm going to get. So this is our next book, and then the next prompt then is prompt number 7. So it's go to the first word, count the number of letters in that word, times it by 100, and then find a book with that many number of pages. So the first word in this book then is... I don't do any of like, so it's like prologue, house envy, and then it's gods. So I'm looking for a book with around 400 pages. Let's get hunting again. I've got These Infinite Threads by Tahira Mafe. This book has 402 pages, so I'm definitely taking that as a win. I would love to read the This Woven Kingdom series. It's so high on my want to read, but I've been told I need to read the entire Shatter Me series first, so I feel like that's sort of putting me off getting started because that feels like a big job, but it's fine. Problem number 8 then, find a book with a similar colour scheme to your current book. So it's all very pinks and reds, which feels very sort of like romancy to me, so maybe we'll go look at the romances first. Remember, it's just colour scheme. I feel like we've got the pinks, the darker sort of like pinky purples. We've got the green. I feel like colour scheme wise, these are very, very similar. So we now have In Her Own League by Liz Tom Forday. I absolutely loved this book. It was one of my 6-star reads this year. So prompt number 9 then, we're nearly there. Find a book with the same number of letters in the title. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. So I need another book with a 14-letter title. Let's go back to counting. So a book with 14 letters in the title. I have Killer Instincts by Jennifer Lynn Barnes. This is book 2 in the Natural series. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 letters in the title. The final prompt then is find a book that's title or author name starts with the same letter as your current book's title. So we need a book that's title or author name starts with the letter K. I feel like that's not a lot of options, to be honest. So an author or book that starts with the letter K. Let's go find some options. I have more options than I expected. I can't find any other books that actually start with the letter K, but I do have some authors that start with the letter K. So I first have Flock by Kate Stewart. I would love to reread this book. I actually read this book maybe 2 years ago, possibly more, and then never picked up the rest of it because I didn't have them yet. But now I've got the rest of the series. I'm like, I could reread this book and then jump into the rest of the Ravenhood series. I also have some Rena Kent books. So this is the next book in my sort of like Rena Kent reading. So this is God of Pain, which is book 2 in the Legacy of God series. I enjoyed book 1. I read that this year, beginning of this year, end of last, I can't even remember now, and I enjoyed that, so I could continue on with the Rena Kent universe. These are both sort of like dark romancy ones though. I'm actually in the need of a new sport romance series, so we also have Collide by Bal Cabra. I again would love to read this one. This is an ice hockey college romance, and one that I feel like I've been picking up regularly and not actually getting to yet, and I could definitely give this one a go. I think the 4th book in this series has literally just come out as well, so this one could definitely be fun. All very valid, all have their own sort of like points. Obviously this one is continuing on with the series that I'm in the middle of, so this is definitely sticking to my goals for the year. This one is on my TBR for this month, so again, sticking to my goals for this year. And this one's on my 26 in 2026, so they're all very valid, and I don't know which one to go for. This is actually so difficult. Like, what do I do? Okay, so I'm going to read the first line of each book and then decide from there. So let's start with Collide. I'm literally going to read the first line, nothing else. She's holding a gun to my head. Well, figuratively at least. Okay, I read the next line. I totally lied. I was just going to leave it at the first line, but that drew me in too much. Okay. Ooh, I really want a sport romance. I don't have any sport romance on the go at the minute. I have obviously read this book before, but let's read Flock's first line. I grew up sick. I mean, I'm not sort of like immediately hooked by that, but I should read that really. God of Pain then, let's go. I always love that they have like art in the front of these books. They're stunning. There's someone out there, or someone's. Reading these, I'm definitely feeling one of these two. I feel like as much as this is continuing the series, they're standalone, so I feel like I can get away with that in this video. I don't know which one to read. I think I'm actually going to go for this one. I feel like I've not touched my 26 and 2026 in ages, and this would be me behaving, but I am then starting another series. No, we're gonna do it. I'm gonna go for Collide by Bal Cabra. I feel like I've been putting off starting a sport romance for ages, and I just want to jump into one, so this definitely feels like a smart choice. So let's just read the back then. So when Summer Preston's professor issues her with an ultimatum, she finds herself in an unexpected collision course with hockey captain Aidan Crawford. Summer hates everything about hockey, for good reason, but she isn't going to let that stand in the way of becoming a sports psychologist. Aidan loves being a hockey captain, except when his team's reckless mistakes risk jeopardising the entire season. When coach puts him forward for a research paper as punishment, he has no choice but to accept. Summer can't stand his blasé approach to life, but Aidan doesn't get her uptight scheduled one. They're off to a rocky start, and provoking each other, it turns out, is what they do best. As sparks fly, neither wants to be the one to give in. Can they get everything they want, including each other? I love a college romance anyway. I recently finished the Off-Campus series by Elle Kennedy, and I've been looking for a new sort of like college romance since then. I've heard the most amazing things about this author and about this series in particular, so I am so excited to jump into this one. So, Scavenger Hunt has spoken. We have Collide by Bal Cabra. Let's go get reading. So I spent my day sat in the garden reading this here book, and do you know what? I'm actually really enjoying this one. I don't know why I sound surprised. I was actually really looking forward to starting this series. I think that it's definitely making for a very just sort of like fun, easy read sort of vibe. It gives me very similar vibes to sort of like the Off-Campus series by Elle Kennedy, which is a series I really enjoyed anyway. I feel like that's going to be sort of my baseline for any comparison to any college sport romance, because it was the first series in that sort of genre that I ever read. So I feel like a lot of my comparisons are going to be to that series anyway, which is a series I really enjoyed. So I'm really enjoying this one. So we're following Summer and Aidan. Now, Aidan is the captain of the ice hockey team. He's like ready for going pro. He's trying to get control of his team. And then we also have Summer, who is like trying to get through to this really sort of like niche, well, not even necessarily niche, but it's like this, it's the next sort of place and things she needs to do to sort of advance her academic like career basically. And Summer needs an athlete to do her paper on. Now, she hates ice hockey, she hates hockey players, and her advisor basically says you're doing it on hockey and that's final. And as a punishment for something that happens with the hockey team, Aiden is put forward for this paper. So they're having to work together on Summer's paper, and we're so basically just watching the fallout of that, and I'm absolutely loving it. Like, they don't get off to a good start at the beginning. They cannot agree. They don't want to do this. They are both very like absolutely not about the situation. So I'm really enjoying sort of them, seeing them get to know each other. Like Summer sort of realising that hockey players aren't all actually that bad, and that he doesn't fit the stereotype for your ice hockey captains. And I also think it's really fun just sort of watching Aiden drag that more fun side out of her, and I'm really enjoying it. I'm having a really fun time. I have read most of this today, sat on the garden. I only read like a couple of chapters of this last night, and then the rest has been today, so I'm making good progress. I'm on chapter 24, which is page 177, so I'm just before halfway. I'm having a really fun time. I'm enjoying getting to know like the rest of the characters, and I'm looking forward to seeing sort of like how the couples go for the rest of the series. I do have the first 3 books in this series. I know book 4 came out at the beginning of this month, so I would like to get my hands on that as well. But I'm really looking forward to seeing in sort of like what couples we get going forward, because there's obviously the other members of the ice hockey team, but there's also Summer's friendship group, so I'm already like, ooh, I think they'd be a good match, and I think they'd be a good match. I think we've got a good hint on who one of the ice hockey players, Kian, I think we know sort of like where he's going and what direction his character's going in, but I'm really looking forward to see sort of like who else we've got coupling up. But yeah, I'm enjoying this so far. The tension is really fun, the banter's great. I'm really enjoying watching them sort of rile each other up, and I can't wait to see sort of like where this story goes. I have no predictions on sort of like third act conflicts or anything like that at the moment, but I'm having a really fun time all in all. So I'm going to go and get back in the garden, because as much as it's already 6 o'clock, it's still so hot out. But all in all, having a really good time with this one, and I'm going to go sit back in the garden and continue on with this book. But so far, really enjoying this one. I am back with my final thoughts and feelings on Collide by Balcabra then, and do you know what? I had a really fun time with this one. I think this one was so much fun, so entertaining, so sweet, and had just such a beautiful story. Like, I feel like with sports romances, especially college ones, and like college ice hockey romances and stuff, I feel like the third act conflicts can be so petty and annoying, because obviously we are in this teenage drama thing, and like I feel like they can just be so annoying. But this one was done so nicely, and I actually really enjoyed it, and it was something very different to the sort of the rest of the college romances I've ever read. So I was really happy with the third act conflict in this one. I think their relationship was so lovely, and it was really nice to see them go from this like dislike, cocky, arrogant sort of like hatred for each other to this like really beautiful relationship where they clearly care a lot about each other. And I think it was just such a nice development, and I really like how we got from point A to point B. I think it was just so lovely to see their relationship develop the way it did. And like I said, the third act conflict was just so nicely done, and there was no third act breakup, there was no miscommunication thing. Yes, there was some secret keeping, but like the reasons for the secrets and all that sort of stuff were actually really lovely, and I really enjoyed it. I actually really enjoyed it. I cannot wait to go into the rest of these books. I feel like the couplings and the sort of hintings that we've had so far, I think that the rest of these books are actually going to be really fun as well, and I'm intrigued to see sort of like what tropes we've got going forward, and I'm invested in this friendship group. I think that like sort of Summer's friendship group is so lovely, and I also think that Aiden's friendship group is also just like really sweet. So I'm really looking forward to seeing sort of like how the rest of the friendship group sort of couples off. I think that like we've definitely had some hintings on some potential connections and some potential relationships and things, so it's a series I will 100% be continuing on with, because I actually just think that this was so nicely done. I really liked the writing style. It was really easy reading. I liked the sort of topics and the care and the pasts that we talk about in this. I feel like the support system and the found family element in these books is just going to be really nice to see. So I all in all actually really enjoyed this, and enjoyed it more than I think I expected to. I do think that I will be comparing every sport romance series I read to the off-campus series now, so to find one that I have enjoyed probably just as much, I was quite shocked by that, to be honest. So I've settled on a 4.25 for this one. I don't know what sort of stopped it from being that amazing 5-star read for me. I think I rated like all of the off-campus books between sort of like 4 and above, so like I think this is probably sitting about on par with it at the minute. I had a really fun time. I'm intrigued, I'm invested, I want to see how this like continues on, and I want to see the rest of the relationship sort of like develop and come together, and just watch this group of friends become a really like close, tight-knit found family. So definitely an enjoyable one. I had a really fun time with this. I definitely want to continue on with the series and read the rest of them. I do think I'm probably going to jump into Spiral soon. I haven't looked at the back of it yet, but I would love to see who we're following next. I don't feel like it's particularly set one up over the other. I'm assuming we're mainly going to be following the guys group, because there's 4 out, isn't there? So I'm pretty sure there's 4 maybe 5 in the hockey team that are like really close knit, but obviously that could change, I don't know. But I'm pretty sure we're going to be following the guys, but I'm hoping for some more couplings between sort of like her friends and his friends. So all in all, a very, very enjoyable read. I actually had a really fun time with this one and was quite pleasantly surprised, I think. So definitely recommend giving this series a go if you haven't so far. I do think that it was just a very fun, easy read. So a successful little scavenger hunt. I say this every time, but I always feel like I expect the books that I pick in the scavenger hunts to suck, and like I've not actually had a bad one yet, I don't think. So I definitely recommend giving them a go if you haven't already. I will be leaving the prompts that I use in the description bar below for you guys, so I think you should definitely give this a go yourself if you haven't already, because it's just so fun. I used to do this all the time, like before I started filming them for YouTube and stuff. I literally used to just sit there and do these little scavenger hunts when I was bored. So it's definitely a fun way to just sort of like pick a random book and a new read and something a little bit different that maybe you wouldn't always gravitate towards. So I definitely recommend giving a scavenger hunt a try if you haven't already. I think they're just so much fun. So that is everything for today's video then. If you enjoyed it, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, all that fun stuff. And as always, my social media, my Amazon, my Goodreads, my business email and my Fable are all in the description bar below, as well as the prompts to give this scavenger hunt a go yourself. So thank you so much for being here. I really hope you guys are well, and I hope to see you in the next one. Take care. Bye.